everyone, it's Brianna Ray from DIY, here to bring you something I have been dying to try for a long time. It's finally time to try some squeegee art. I don't know what it is about this that has taken me so long, because it seems easy in my brain. Like, I feel like this is something that I should be able to do pretty quickly, but I think I'm just panicking. But for some unclear to me reason. But I've got a couple of different kind of techniques that I want to try. Something that's a little more abstract, something that's maybe kind of just like a sort of an experiment in how far I can make the paint go, and one of those like character reveal kind of style ones, and I'm going to show you how I plan to do that. This is my first time trying it ever, so we're going to see how it goes. This is kind of going to be a test to see what happens, so let's just roll into it. This first one I'm going to start with is going to include this color palette over here. We're going to go abstract first because I feel like it's going to be the easiest. So I have these kind of like distressed edge sheets here that are supposed to not bend so much. They're like watercolor grade paper so that the moisture doesn't really warp them too much. I don't know if that really means anything, but this is kind of what we're going to do. So I've got this collection of colors. I was kind of going for like this kind of vintagey, like deep 70s sort of color palette. So I'm kind of just going to go crazy, and my understanding is that this is all about just kind of like dots, right? So I'm just going to try to squeeze the dots directly onto the page. Oop, that's too much. That wherever the paint goes first, it's going to kind of like stain the page so that even when you drag, it's kind of going to hold that original design. I don't know why I didn't think of this beforehand. Hopefully it's a nice thick sheet so I can just kind of pick it up and move it over. I'm gonna pop a little Silipad down, that way when I squeegee it off, it doesn't get all over my desk. And I think I'm just gonna go straight. Okay. I don't hate that as much as I thought I was going to. Not too bad, and it seemed like the harder the pressure, the better for this one. Cleanup was pretty quick and easy. I just did a quick rinse of this. Usually I would let my acrylics dry and then peel them and throw them away, but just kind of an FYI, kind of a fun little mixture of colors we have over here now too. I've also just got a wet paper towel, and I'm gonna clean up all this excess. I've actually seen a lot of criticism on these for like the kind of abstract ones that's very much like, what do I do with it now? Sometimes you just frame it and that's it. But you can see that it kind of held the shape there, even the smear around it. It almost like it dyed the paper where it was, which sort of creates this underlying image. And then the rest of it kind of smears over top after the fact. I kind of like it. I'd also think I'd really be interested to see this in like similar colors but different sheens, like if there was a satin and a gloss and a matte and whatever, and like doing that like all within like one monochromatic palette, I think would be kind of cool. Anyway, let's move on to my next concept thing here. I've got my squeegee nice and clean, ready to go. I don't like this pink background so much right now, but we're just gonna roll with it. My next plan is this pastel rainbow look, and I want to kind of do some wiggles with it. There we go. Oh, way too much. Darn it. This is kind of the thing. Gotta make sure you know how your paint's about to behave, or it's gonna embarrass you on the internet. So I'm gonna give this a shake and kind of add a touch more of this green just for the smear purposes, because I know the color underneath's already kind of there. And just a touch more of this pink. So again, I'm gonna go pretty hard here so that I can really smear as much of this as possible and let it gather as much paint as possible as it goes. And I think I'm just gonna try to do like 2 swirls. Oh gosh. All right, that pink is entirely too light. You can also see like kind of the white patches that it left in the areas that didn't have the mixed paint, which I think is fascinating. And you can see it even came out like pretty white to start, so the dot at the top is not even green. Like the green smoothed right over it, which is so fascinating. So definitely kind of a cool little tester piece. So another thing that we can do with these, other than going just kind of like for this abstract framed thing that I'm thinking for this one, is use it as a background for something. Like if you're just kind of going for like a wash of color, it might be cool to kind of paint on top of this. For something like this like more like color scheme look that we're going for, this I think would be really cool on like a really large scale canvas. So if you got like, I don't know if like a really large squeegee is like an option, but even if you do it kind of in goes and kind of, like if you had a big, like, I don't know, poster sized canvas and you really just kind of wanted to scrape down and down and down across like an entire canvas, you could make some like relatively inexpensive, like full-sized wall art. So I'm gonna leave these two off to the side. I might do something with them before the end of the video, and I'm gonna move on to the character piece, which is gonna bring back a little bit of our red and yellow color scheme. I wanna do Winnie the Pooh. Here's my game plan with this. I am nervous about like, because I know it's kind of like pancake art where you got to kind of work from the back forward, and I wasn't sure how to do that. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure if I really sat down and thought about it, but I really wanted this to be kind of like an easy, chill experience with also like kind of some tips for how to do it if you're nervous to start, just like I was. So what I ended up doing is I went on Google and I searched up like a drawing tutorial for like a character, and I found Winnie the Pooh, and look at this. It literally goes step by step. So I think I'm just going to start by doing everything that's in red here first, right? So this will be like our black bits, and then I'll do like the face and the ears and then the shirt. I know another kind of like big thing for these is like the reveal of it. Like this is a good like viral video technique or whatever. Obviously I'm kind of not going for that. I also figured maybe one of the better ways to kind of create the image underneath the paint is to straight up just paint it, and then add a bunch of stuff on top and then scrape it after the fact and see if that did anything. Yikes. Oh, wow. Anyway, I also wanted to do some green kind of in the background. So game plan is that I'm just gonna do some like dots all around in these green colors. This is kind of testing two theories, with the ones where I just kind of painted it on the bottom, and also like, you know, I can kind of cover the top, so it kind of creates this like reveal that you see in a lot of like, you know, TikTok videos of this kind of art, or like reels perhaps. Start at the top, and let's just go. You know, it's not as ugly as I was expecting. All right, all cleaned up. It's been about 30 minutes since I started filming, beginning to end, set up, clean up, and all that in under 30 minutes and 3 different pieces. Really not so bad. Let's start with Pooh Bear. So for the characters, I think the kind of next steps, well, let's first talk about kind of how things worked out down here. So you can see where the paint hadn't really like seeped in so much. There's still a little bit of green over top his legs, compared to up here where we see pretty much most of this color is you know, yellow. So I'm thinking definitely like this painting underneath is not a bad method as long as it's kind of topped with like a really thick layer. I did that on this side of the red shirt, so you can see it's a lot like more dyed underneath as opposed to this side, which was a little bit more streaky from the brush strokes. So that does make a difference. It would be kind of cool to like have a whole painting kind of underneath, maybe something, you know, not as crazy amount of effort. And then do like a reveal or something on TikTok. I think that's like, you know, something fun. I'm also just going to take this white gel pen and kind of come in and add like some eye shinies, just to kind of finish him off and make him look a little more complete. Obviously, I could have maybe done this. I didn't really want to use the white paint though. So, especially with the white background. So yeah, that's kind of how that turned out. I think it's still just a little bit wet, so it's soaking up some of my stuff instead of sitting on top like I'd like it to. This one I already kind of talked about. I think I would frame something like this as is. It really does have just this like really visually interesting kind of like psychedelic groovy look to it. I might finish it on the other side, or do something with like this other half of it. I don't really know what, but I don't know, it might be kind of cool to do something in this negative space. This definitely isn't my usual style of art, but I'm not mad at it. I actually kind of like it. Definitely like a cool different sort of vibe. This, I just think every time I think of something with just like a colorful background, I want to do like a black sort of silhouette look to it. So I just grabbed an old stamp that I made in an old video, and I'm going to stamp this kitty cat right on top. Definitely cool for like a background of some of them. Might even kind of cut this out. But yeah, just a couple of ideas for kind of next steps if like this is just like not enough for you, but you still want to create art, design something. I don't know. I think there's a lot of fun options here, and it doesn't have to stop. This was a very relaxing experience for me, from beginning to end. Even like finishing all these things, this only took me like an hour and a half. Actually, just an hour. Yeah, that was only an hour. A little less than. So I don't know, I've had a pretty good time with this. It was just a nice like kind of relaxing way for me to kind of get some stuff on paper. No stress, no drama. It also might be cool to like drop some of your designs and do your scrape and then sort of try to find pictures inside of it. Kind of like those like reverse coloring books almost is kind of what this is reminding me of. So yeah, that is all I had for you today. Thank you so much for coming along for the ride. If you like what you saw, feel free to like and subscribe. I do put out new videos every Sunday at noon Eastern Standard Time, and I would love for you to be here for the next one. Thanks again so much, and I hope to see you then. Bye!